Because they are in the same family as the marshmallow plants, they also can be used medicinally. They are also very beautiful flowers. You can use them, I believe, for teas, and you can use them for healing remedies. Hello everyone, welcome back, and if you are new here, my name is Chantal. Today is the beginning of what I'm dubbing as the Potager garden. I have over here a couple blueberry plants. I have a row of asparagus right behind me, and I have a couple cranberries in here and two perennial hibiscus plants. And today I'm going to be adding some biennials. And the biennials that I chose to put in here are the jet black hollyhock. Those are the firsts to go in this garden. I would love to add a whole lot of other things. So the area that I'm standing in right here is a boggy soil. This area seems to collect a lot of water during the spring season and the fall season. So I want to put plants in here that love the water and don't necessarily require a lot of irrigation. I will be irrigating during the summer season because for the past 3 years we've had a drought in the summer. Normally we get tons of rain, but today is the first of the few rains that we've got in this spring. It's been a very dry spring for us. Actually, it rained last night and into today. This is unusual, but even with this type of weather, this area that I'm standing in is dry, is wet. But that area over there is on the drier side and does not need things that require a boggy soil. It will be more wet in the spring season, but not to the point where if you step in it you feel like you're stepping in a swamp, because where I'm standing over here feels this way. So this is the area that I'm talking about, and right now it is full of weeds and we will be addressing these. I'm going to see if I can try a technique in here. And on this side over here behind the asparagus is our apiary, and my husband is slowly adding more bees to that. He just did a couple splits on, I think, a couple of the hives, and you can see them in the back right there. Those are the two small hives, so those are the splits that he did. And I was trying to edit a video for him, but it was our neighbors were mowing the lawn all around us, so it was pretty loud. We'll try to maybe save that video and do a voiceover. But the reason why we planted these asparagus over here is because they act as a way to slow the bees down. So as the bees are going to their hives from this direction to over here, they have to fly over the asparagus and then into their hives, so they're not flying low. And if I'm working here in the garden, I'm not having bees buzzing me in the head and slamming me in the face. So this is actually working really well. And the idea behind this is in that area right there, which is facing the asparagus. So the asparagus would be on this side over here, and that area is facing it. So I would love to put a bench over there for us to sit and just enjoy this space. That's a blueberry bush that's going to grow to a pretty good size, maybe about 5 feet wide or so. But for now, while there is nothing behind it, I want to plant kind of a triangle shape of hollyhocks. I started these hollyhocks in a winter sowing project, and I actually did a winter sowing. I released a video today. What's today's date? I don't know. Don't ask me about the date. I'm so terrible with it at it. And so these have been sitting and waiting to go in their space that I'm not sure where I was gonna plant them. I just wanted these hollyhocks. I think I might have wanted to plant some of them in the butterfly garden, but I just changed my mind and I decided that they're all gonna go here. Actually, I was thinking of planting them under the deck, but that area is just super wild right now. It is taken over by grass and I need to address it, and that's just not a priority whatsoever at this point. So they did suffer a little bit because yesterday it was 89, or the day before that was in the 90s also, and I went out to do some grocery shopping. I came back and these were all wilted, and this is why you see some yellow leaves on them. It's okay, I'll just pull the yellow leaves off, but they bounced back. You can see they're doing okay, but I have plenty of plants in here, so they all need to be separated and need to be planted. So right now I'm going to place them in here and then plant them. I'm trying to combine two different words together. Other than that, also there are a few other things that I want to address in this area, and I'll show you what these things are as soon as we are done with planting the hollyhocks. So this is where they ended up being. You can see the blueberry is right here. So the blueberry is going to grow about 2.5 feet this way and 2.5 feet that way. So basically in diameter. So whatever I end up putting in here has to be that far away from it. Also, I have to keep in mind that this fence is electrified, so I have to keep plants away from it. Now, the bottom of the hollyhocks are okay if they touch the fence, as long as they don't touch the top fence. So anything that touches the top, I have to either defoliate on that side, or I would have to stake and kind of push away from the fence. And I really tried my best to give it enough space. So there's about, I don't know, is that 2 feet, or maybe it's about 2 feet away from the fence over here. On that is about 2.5 feet, or maybe even more. On that side it's like 3 feet. This side 2 or 2.5 feet. So it's pretty good. Same over there. Some of them are so tiny, like this one over here you can barely see, and that one over there, and that, but the rest are pretty good. And I just have to come here and put some irrigation. But right now I am out of irrigation supplies, or at least the ones that I want to use over here. I was thinking of using the 1/2-inch drip tube with the emitters, that with a 12-inch spacing emitters, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe I should use what I have over here, which is a 1/4-inch tubing, and just do supply lines to those. I don't know. I think I'll go with a 1/2-inch drip emitter tubing. This is probably the better choice for over here. Oh. I found some barbed connectors. So the other day I went to Home Depot, and they actually do not carry drip irrigation supplies in our local Home Depot, and that was very surprising to me. I guess not a lot of people use it in this area. I was very disappointed though, so I have to order mine online. I'm glad that I did it online the first time, and I've been doing it online ever since. But the other day I just really needed some plugs for the end of the tubes, the 1/4 inch tubes, and I didn't have any. I ran out, so I went there and they only had one small bag. Oh well, that's all right. I'll just order them online. They'll come pretty quick over here anyways. Before we continue with addressing the other issues in this area, I want to talk a little bit about hollyhocks. Hollyhocks are a biannual plant, which means that they do not produce flowers the first year. You plant them the first year, they produce foliage, and then the second year they will flower. Hollyhocks can grow 6 to 8 feet tall and sometimes even taller. It depends on the variety of plants you choose. Also, hollyhock is a cousin of the marshmallow plant. A funny story about that, actually. My brother-in-law, when he was a kid, visited my grandparents in Lebanon. That was before I even knew about my husband, before I knew my husband or ever met him. And him and his brother, or my husband, were having a pillow fight, and he had an allergic reaction to what was in the pillows. So my grandmother boiled some marshmallow leaves and just put the water off the marshmallow leaves on his eyes, and it removed all of his allergy symptoms. My mother-in-law tells me they were super worried and they wanted to take him to the hospital, but my grandmother miraculously healed him by using the marshmallow plant. The story kind of makes me laugh, and I just love hearing these stories, especially when it comes to my grandparents, because I love them so much. I miss them so much. They're no longer with us. It's been a long time, but they're always in my heart. Anyways, back to the hollyhocks. As I was saying, hollyhocks are biannuals, so they will only last for 2 years, but they will also seed themselves very readily in the same area if you have the proper environment for them. So if your area isn't heavily mulched every single year, the hollyhocks might come back. You might want to avoid mulching the area where your hollyhocks were, just to make sure that they will come back if you want them to come back over there. Or you just can collect the seeds after the flower heads dry out completely, and then plant the seeds wherever you want. You can also direct sow them in the fall, and then they will come in the next spring if you have a proper moisture for that to happen. Because they are in the same family as the marshmallow plants, they also can be used medicinally, but they are also very beautiful flowers. You can use them, I believe, for teas, and you can use them for healing remedies, just as I have mentioned in this story. One of the things that hollyhocks are susceptible to is rust, which is when the leaf appears to have rust spots on it, spots that have the color of rust. And that is due to a lot of moisture around the plant, or maybe overhead watering, or a lot of humidity in your environment. So to prevent that, you want to space your hollyhocks pretty far from each other so that they are not crowded and they do not get that disease. You can, if you want to, treat them with a fungicide, but I prefer not to do that, because if you are going to be treating them with a fungicide, that can affect the pollinators, like the bees, and we don't want to harm the pollinators. We are planting these plants, at least I'm planting these plants for the pollinators and for us to enjoy, and also to use them as medicinal plants. So by avoiding the whole thing, by not planting them too close to each other and not giving them too much water where the soil is constantly moist and constantly oversaturated, and also by not giving them overhead water, you will be avoiding that problem in the first place. Now, if you are getting tons of rain, that might be a problem. So if you do have to spray them, I would suggest that you only spray the leaf canopy and don't spray anything on the flowers themselves, and also make sure to spray during the time where the bees are not active, and that would be kind of around dawn or dusk. And if you are going to use them for medicinal plants, also make sure to spray them with an organic fungicides. I prefer to use organic in our homestead over here, or whatever it is you want to call it, or our acreage. It's only 2 acres. I don't know what to call it. Our land, anyways. You tell me, what should I call it? I don't know. Hollyhocks also have a long blooming stalk, and I'll see if I can throw a picture for you on the screen to see what they sort of look like. They come in all sorts of colors, all different varieties, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I love them. They make a beautiful cottage flower in my opinion. And they also can make a beautiful tall border if you want to screen off a space. You can do that with hollyhocks. Now they are kind of thin on the top, so you want to keep that in mind, but it would be kind of a nice screening thing if you just want a light screen. Also, the blooms, when they do bloom, they start blooming from the bottom, and then they will just keep blooming all the way to the top, and they will continue to bloom for 6 to 8 weeks, and sometimes even longer. And the hollyhocks are not native to our area, from I believe. They are native, however, to the areas around us, which is Massachusetts and Vermont and these areas of New England. We live in New Hampshire. They are not native here, so I don't know why, even though we're close to all the other areas that I just mentioned. Okay, so now let's go ahead and address the issues that I have over here in this area, and we are not going to tackle all of them today because I have another project that I have to do, but let's go ahead and at least fix a couple or 3 of the issues. The first issue is right there, that statue that has a bird bath right over it. This bird bath holds the water for the bees so that they can come here and drink rather than going to the vegetable garden, which is over there. So you can see it's leaning, and I want to fix this lean. So I went to Home Depot today and I got this stone right there, and that's going to create a solid base because, again, this whole area is a very damp area and the soil keeps sinking, and because the statue is heavy and it is tall, it's causing a lean, and especially because it has, I think, more weight on this side, it's causing the lean to go into this direction. So by providing a wide base underneath it, that's going to keep it put, and that's going to stop the whole thing from tilting from one direction or the other. And I'm going to make sure that this stone right here is level. So I got my husband's level with me right here. It is the big level. Unfortunately, I was looking for the small one, but I couldn't find it. I don't know where he has that. So we're just going to use what we have. So I have to move the statue from over there and the bird bath off of it and correct the area underneath it, get it leveled, place a stone, make sure it's leveled, and then we can put the statue on top. Okay, I can't put it in the middle on this side, but it looks pretty good. It looks like it is pretty leveled. The reason why I can't put it in the middle is because this poly tubing is right in the way, and if I do this and hold it, that's not, I feel like that's not fair, but it says it is, and it says it is level. And also, whenever I measure it this way, in the middle of the rock, of the stone, it also looks pretty level. So I can call that good. And now we're gonna place the stone back. And I also have to remove some of the stones that are in this bird bath over here because it is pretty full, and when I filled it I didn't have the time to empty it again. So now I got a little container with me so that I can empty it or make it a little less full. The reason why I have the rocks there is because I do not want the bees to drown, because if you just have water with nothing for them to rest on, they will definitely drown. By placing the rocks in there, we are providing them with a surface to rest on so that they can drink without drowning in the water. Okay, so let's go ahead and put everything back in place. Also, to the eye, that stone does not look level at all, but that is because that whole area is on a downslope in this direction, so everything looks sort of crooked. The water is the evidence that this thing is level. It does seem to tip a little bit to this side, which is what I was thinking, but the level was saying that's not the case. But also this thing itself kind of tips, and I did put a small piece of wood chip under it to level it a little bit. Maybe that would help, so it doesn't actually have a solid base underneath it. I don't think I put it in the right place. So this is why it kind of tips. This bird bath actually comes with a metal stand to have it stand on it, but I thought it would look much nicer with this statue over here. And this statue, if I didn't mention it before, our neighbor gave it to us. It belonged to her mother, and I gladly accepted it. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I was thinking of actually coming one day and spraying this plastic bird bath with a stone spray to make it look like the stone over here. And I thought that would make it look so much nicer, because I wasn't able to find an affordable bird bath that was not stone and that would not cost an arm and a leg and also look like stone, unfortunately. So I think that's another option, by spraying it with a spray that will give it a stone look. That is going to make it look a lot more beautiful. And I'm going to only spray the outside and the edges of the pot, so I'm not going to spray the inside. I think the bees will be okay. And I believe that the bees need some minerals, so the water isn't absolutely crystal clear. They do, I believe, need some of the minerals that are in the soil. So it's okay if this is not 100% clean. Maybe adding a little bit of soil in there is actually better for them. And I think I might do that actually every now and then, just to make sure that they are receiving some minerals. I do see them right now on the soil drinking. There's one right there, because I just splashed a whole bunch of water, so this bee is happy and getting some water right there. So now let's go ahead and tackle the next task that I have over here in this area. So this is our apiary, and I have to weed around it. And I don't want to wear a bee suit while I'm weeding over here. I actually don't have a bee suit. I just wear my husband's bee jacket and bee hat whenever I need it, but I never wear it when I'm weeding because I just don't like to do that. It's also white and it gets dirty pretty fast. I don't want to do that. So I like to wait when we are having this kind of a weather. So today is actually 54 degrees, and again, I was saying yesterday is 89. This whole week was super hot. It was in the 90s and upper 80s. So I wasn't able to come over here because the bees would not have had it. So now is the perfect time. There are only a few weeds here and there. The only thing that you want to pay attention if you are weeding around bees is to make sure to wear gloves, because I actually did get stung one time when I was weeding, because there was a bee kind of laying down on the edge of on the bottom of one of the leaves, and I didn't see it there because I just grabbed the weed and pulled it, and the bee was right there and it stung me. So we had some casualty, the bees, not me. I also do need to weed right around the asparagus. You want to keep the asparagus weed free. You don't want any weed competition. We do have a lot of weed in the area where I'm standing. You already saw that, but that's not a task for today. I have to do that on a different day because I have to go back inside after I'm done with all the tasks over here and make 2 cakes for my daughters, because tomorrow is my oldest daughter's birthday and after tomorrow is my youngest daughter's birthday. Yeah, I got my work cut out for me and I'm gonna be cutting out some cake. I actually did make the cakes yesterday, but today I have to decorate them. So let's go ahead and get some weeding done. Do you ever weed an area to only turn around and see a whole bunch more weeds? This happens to me every single time. Not only that, I am looking at a weed, I look away for 1 second and I turn around, try to find it, and I can't. I don't know if any of you experience the same things. Let me know in the comment section down below. Does that ever happen to you? So the last thing that I want to do before I head inside is stake the asparagus, because as you can see, it's starting to lean or teeter and totter to the sides. So I want to make sure that it's not going to snap or it's not going to flop over on the ground, and I want it to be upright so it can receive all the sunlight and also so that it can provide that screening from the bees. But as you saw, if you want to weed around your bees, this kind of a weather, a cool, rainy, cloudy weather, is a perfect weather to weed around your apiary. And again, the only thing that you want to pay attention to is to wear some gloves, because those bees will get you, because I found them sleeping on several plants, and if you just grab the plant not paying attention, the bees will sting you for sure, because they're just taking their rest on the plants and you're disturbing their rest. I got some T-posts with me. They're not the super long T-posts. I don't think I need those T-posts anyways. It would have been better if they were just a little bit longer. But I'm going to put these one on each end of the asparagus row, and then I'm going to tie some twine around these T-posts, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. So let's go ahead and put them around the asparagus. So I wanted to put the T-posts right at the edge of the row where the asparagus are planted, kind of aligned with them. But if you don't live in New England and you've never tried planting in New England, then you probably don't know that we have tons of rocks in here. So every time you dig in the ground, you would find a gazillion rock. And the place that I was trying to put the first T-post in had a rock in there, so I had to shift it a little bit over to the front. So I'm going to grab the twine now and we're going to wrap it around the asparagus. So this twine right here is too short. I'm gonna have to end it. I can't wrap around this whole row on the back, the side where the bees are. So we're just gonna have to end it right here. So I'm gonna make a cut. I will go back inside and grab some more twine and just finish this job because it is the perfect weather to do that. So I was able to get some more twine and fix this back side over here. And you can see I didn't push it super tight because I do want to give them some breathing room, especially at the top, because they're putting a lot of green growth up top and I don't want them to suffocate. I want them to have some airflow. And I feel like I need to come over here and just kind of take some of these branches that are not supposed to be over there and just kind of push them down a little like that, the branches that are low, so that the top has more air circulation and the bottom as well. So just like so, kind of like that, and this way will look more natural also, and it will mask the twine a little more that way, especially from the front. I did a better job on the back, I feel like. In the front I went a little bit too tight. Yeah, I think the back looks better. So I'll do that in the front and it's done. So let's take a look at it from over here. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I could, I suppose, stake them to make them look better, but I think that's pretty good, and I don't want to have them flop over this way. And as they grow, they're going to fill in more. This is only their second year. I started these from seeds and I planted them last year, and this is their second year. So, oh, don't step on the zinnias, sweetie.
I want to go there.
You can't. You can come from over here, on this side over here.
I can come over here.
Yep. Such a cutie. Yeah, I think they look pretty good, and now we're just gonna let them grow. And this looks good also, with exception for the weeds. That's gonna be addressed on a different day. I think I'm gonna recruit my kids and have them clean up all this area. And the hibiscus is starting to put on some growth. We are right now in June 1st, or no, June 3rd. Today's June 3rd. So I think we can call this a successful day. I only had a couple hours to work over here. Now I gotta head inside and get the cakes decorated. I wish I could take you with me. I actually still have a gluten-free cooking channel on YouTube, but I haven't been publishing anything there yet because it's just a little bit overwhelming to do everything. I really want to focus on gardening, and I love gardening. I also love cooking. I do also have a website. It's called peacefullivinginh.com, and on my website I have a whole bunch of gluten-free recipes. I have gardening blog posts, I have food preservation, and I'm going to be adding more hopefully when this little one gets a little bit older, when I can get back to my normal routine. When she was a little younger, I wasn't able to do that. I feel like maybe next year I'll be able to do that, because I would wake up early in the morning before anyone woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and just start typing, and I cannot focus when I have people chattering around me. Even if the kids, let's say, are awake early in the morning and they're having their breakfast and all that, I just can't focus. I also homeschool, so I have to be, there and ready to homeschool my kids, and it has to be done early in the morning. And once she was around like 9 months old or so, or maybe a little bit even younger than that, I wasn't able to continue to work on my blog because she was waking up constantly and I wasn't having any sleep. And until just recently, she started sleeping a little better at night, and for now, mostly, she sleeps through most nights, thank God. And hopefully she'll continue to do that. She's going to be turning 3 soon. My heart. You're going to be turning 3. Oh, I love you. So, yeah, I think I'll have a little more time soon enough. You know, we just want to cherish these times with them. My other two are older, so it's a lot easier to, you know, do stuff like that with them around. But with her, she requires a little bit more attention. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was educational. Oh, there's one more thing I keep forgetting to mention, and that is hollyhocks require full sun. So that's 6 to 8 hours of sunlight. You want to make sure to put them in a full sun location. And here's a quick look at them again. And so, here. Let me stand over here so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And just imagine over here having a little bench. Maybe over here, or maybe straight, or maybe a little diagonal, so that we can kind of look at this garden over here. I think if I have it in a diagonal way, this way, that would make more sense. And then on this side over here, we have the asparagus, and I'm going to be planting another row of asparagus. Oh, don't step there, sweetie. And I'm going to be planting another row of asparagus right in front of it, and I want to plant the purple asparagus. I think that would look very beautiful together. And also I just want to try the purple asparagus, and I know that's a huge area to dedicate, but if you don't like it, I could just pull it up. Oh, be careful, I have plants over here. And if we like it, I'll keep it, because we love asparagus, and I don't even know if this is enough, so I think planting another row in front of them is going to be good. And also it's going to make a thicker screen, and maybe I could sort of stagger them where the asparagus that's in front of them would be planted in the middle of each of the two. So you'd have two asparagus and one would be planted in the middle, kind of stagger planted. I think that might look better. I don't know, give me your opinions. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you have any ideas for this side over here, because I'm still brainstorming on this side. I pretty much know what I want to do on that side over there, but on the side where I'm standing, I don't know what I want to do. I'm kind of going willy-nilly. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications of whenever I upload new videos. Bye!